A2HH Live in the morning. What's going on with you, Coop? How you doing, sir?
Good morning to you.
Good morning to everybody out there. Want to welcome everybody in the room. We did this a little earlier than normal on a Wednesday, but by special request, people wanted us to talk about LL possibly doing a versus with Busta Rhymes because that seems to be the matchup in the air. You keep seeing articles about it. People in our comment section keep talking about it, so we did one step further. If this versus ever happens, might not, who knows? We went ahead and did a mock version of it. I'm gonna take on 20 Busta Rhymes songs. My man Coop over here is gonna take on 20 LL songs, similar to what we did in the KRS and Kane preview. So we want everybody to join in and kind of go round for round with us on that. We're gonna talk about this new song that's jumping off or coming out Friday with Jay-Z, Conway the Machine, and Jadakiss. This should be super dope. And I want to talk about some Jeezy too, man. I don't know if you saw Jeezy on TV1,
No.
and yeah, he did like an uncensored or whatnot. But the only reason why I brought that up is because Young Miami, a city girl, said that Jeezy's one of the best rappers alive. So I want to talk about what Jeezy means to a certain generation too. If you don't mind, we can kind of gloss over that. We'll do that when people get in the room, maybe
I don't mind at
towards
all.
the end of the show. What's that?
I said I don't mind at all. No, no, no.
Yeah, that should be cool. But first off, let's talk about this new song, man. Jay-Z, Jadakiss, and Conway the Machine are teaming up for a new song this week. The song's going to be on the soundtrack to a African-American Western story that Jay-Z has coming out there. And yeah, everybody is posting the previews of it. Sounds like it's going to be a dope record, production wise. But what I want to talk about, since we don't know anything about the record totally yet, we just know little pieces about the record, and we're probably going to review it on Friday or talk about it in length. But what was your reaction when you saw that Jadakiss, and Conway are coming together for a collaboration? What's the
Bars.
expectation?
Bars. Oh,
Expectation is
bars.
bars. Who do you think comes with the
Bars.
best verse?
Ah. I mean, right now I would probably say Conway, but I mean, because here's the thing with Kiss. Kiss has so many like great verses that it's even hard to discern like where to even rank like his fifth best verse as opposed to like his 25th best verse because those verses are comparable.
He's one of the king of features, man. I know we give Busta Rhymes a lot of credence as we should when it comes to features, but a lot of his big features are more so on massive records. But if you want to talk about like, just core records and a guy who's always there, Jadakiss been on a lot of important records.
Yeah, it's a
But
lot of burn.
hmm, I don't know, man. I feel like Jada is probably the most. It's hard to say this. Because all of these guys are super consistent, and Jig has made a whole career on consistency. We've been talking about Conway's consistency over the past, 3 years as being really one of the more consistent MCs in the game, and by our estimation, the best MC in the game, right? I
Correct.
think that Jadakiss's consistency over decades when it comes to features is really unparalleled. You know what you're gonna get with Jada.
You know it's going to be pretty great usually. That is the thing with him and his features, and that's why it's like I would give the advantage to Conway just because of the zone that he's in and the
I
space
agree.
that he's in right now.
He's at his peak.
He's at his peak, but Kiss is just something different, specifically when it comes to like those 16 bar features. I mean, he's got 16 bar features on Griselda stuff that's pretty dope. Most noticeably, Gods Don't Bleed on Blind Tell.
Yeah.
you know. And it's like, even when I hear a verse like that, Mike, it's like, man, I'm like, that verse is nasty. And I'm like, I don't even know if that's one of his like 30 or 40 best verses.
For I guess the pedestrian hip hop fans out here, it's a big moment for somebody like Conway. And like you said, with the zone that he's in and the importance and gravity of this record for him, you gotta think that he's gonna come through. That's
I
why,
mean,
yeah, he gets my vote as far as me, thinking ahead and not even hearing the record on who I think is probably going to have the best verse. He just has so much riding on a song like this.
I don't think he has too much
You
riding
know what I
on it.
mean, though.
No, no,
It's
no,
an
no, no. This is
opportunity to get
definitely
a whole new audience. And
yeah.
for, you
It
know what
can
I'm
be a
saying, a
it
lot
can
of
be more of a
people, yeah.
no. It can be more of a coming out party of sorts. But like I think he just needs to do what he's been doing
Of
though. That's what
course.
I'm saying. Yeah. So it's like don't overstate it too much. Just go in there and get busy right now. And it's like, and I also want to say this. This is like 2021, and it's like we haven't brought up Jay having the best verse at all. You know.
That's another part of the discussion, to be honest. Shout out to Maria Bradshaw in the room. She said, first here. Hope you stay around with us. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Francisco Rodriguez says, overall, who's the better feature artist, Wayne or Jadakiss? Overall, I would say Wayne, but I get where you're going there. All right, this is what
Are
I
you sure
was.
about that?
I say overall because of what Wayne can add to a song. Wayne could just get on a hook. We've seen it with like Red Nation or something. You know what I'm saying? What he did with the game. That shit's crazy. Wayne, you know what? Wayne's hook game is very Busta Rhymes-esque when we talk about being able to get on a record and just change the color of a record. You're a big Bling Bling fan, right? And why is that song in your top? Yeah. So.
those are val- those are valid points. So I think you're speaking to the versatility, but even with the versatility that you speak to, I would probably still take Kiss slightly, just because his feature verses, like he has a lot of legendary feature verses, like not a few, like a lot.
Well,
Like
Francisco said overall, so it's like, has Jada really given us many hooks?
No, but what I'm saying is he's giving you more legendary guest feature performances, in my opinion. Hooks, bars, however you want to toss it up. You feel me? So if he's saying overall, I feel like Kiss has had more legendary appearances on other people's material.
Shit, we could do a mock versus for that. Honestly, where we're just dealing with Wayne's features and dealing with Jada's features and see what songs are better. But anyway, what I was gonna say is, man, you brought up something before we got into that. Jay-Z hasn't really given us a memorable verse this year, and he's tried, right? Like you got Sorry Not Sorry.
Did he try?
No,
Did he try?
I'm just saying he's putting stuff out. Is what I mean.
That's different than trying.
But see, I'm not in his head. I can't even estimate if he's trying or not. Maybe he is trying, and it sounds like to you, the listener, that he's not trying. I don't know. You don't think he tried on that Sorry Not Sorry verse? Because he always tries when Nas is on the record. I think he tried on that Drake record. He was rapping hard. He might not have tried on the Donda song. Now, he wasn't trying on Jail. I give you that. But he never tries when he's working with Kanye. Let's keep it real. The only time he tried working with Kanye is when on the Throne. He gave him recycled verses on the College Dropout. He may have tried on the Diamonds remix because he was trying to prove something and trying to diss Dame on the low. You know what I mean? But for the most part, when he works with Kanye, he don't try. But I think he tried on that Drake record. I think he tried on Sorry Not Sorry.
I mean, how about this? Even if it were Nas and these other two guys, I would still give those other two guys advantage of who would have the best verse in 2021 based on what I hear lyrically.
Right, of course. Of course. So, and see, you know what? I don't know if you saw, I saw highlights of the Lakers game last night, and we're not, jumping on tangents or whatnot, but I seen LeBron wearing a sweater with some shorts, with some glasses and a hat, like damn near the assistant coach at this point. You know what I'm saying? This is where we're at with Jay in his career. And, Conway is AD out here putting up, 35, in an overtime game. Jada is Westbrook or something, you know what I mean? But you might get a game from LeBron, or he might just sit on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what Jay is at this point, and we can't expect him to get on the record and have the best verse. I say that respectfully. He's done so much. Yeah. So
nothing too heavy.
But I will say this, regardless of the timing, if someone has a better verse than him, they're going to let people know about it. And I
Well, no,
don't know
not
if
even
that's the
that.
Nas effect or the Renegade effect, but it's been a thing.
No, what he really just needs to do is just have a good, solid performance overall. Because I think we both have the feeling the other two guys are about to come with it. So he need not get lost in it, really,
What was the
because you
last
still
Jay
like
Z verse you were impressed by like that?
impressed by, like where I was like, oh shit, probably Drug Dealers Anonymous.
Okay. Francisco Rodriguez says, "Oh, what about Never Let Me Down?" He gave him
That's off the
recycled
college
verses
track.
from the Hovey, yeah, the Hovey Baby remix, and and I always loved "Never Let Me Down" from Kanye's "The College Dropout." But when I realized that those were recycled verses from Hovey Baby remix, I'm like, really? Wow. Terminator 2 says, Mike D, my nigga. Hey, what up, Coop? What up, what
What
up, what
up?
up? We go, for the people that are just getting into this room, man, what we're going to do today, we're going to do a mock LL Cool J and Busta Rhymes versus. And, kind of like we did the Kane and KRS one. We don't know if this one's going to happen, but by request, people wanted us to talk about this, and we just took it a step further where Coop's going to take on 20 LL songs. Y'all help us judge this, and I'm going to take on 20 Busta Rhymes songs. And, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to According to Hip Hop. Hit the bell icon so you know when we're going live and chopping up these topics. But, so you think a solid verse from Jay-Z is going to be enough for the public?
No, I mean what I'm saying is that he needs to. Like, you're still a legend. Nobody's expecting you to have the best verse, but who your status is, and a lot of people thinking that you're. I mean, what did Conway say in War Paint? I get Hove told me you that boy. I get acknowledged by the goat. Like, so he's somebody that Conway looks at and will acknowledge on record as the greatest of all time, and so he doesn't need to have necessarily a greatest of all time verse, but he needs to have an appearance that kind of shows like who he is still, like has in the measure of in the relationship of who he's on the track with,
Well, a lot of people in the chat are saying "What's Free" from Meek Mill's album, where Jay jumped on the "What's Beef" record. That was his last impressive verse like that. That was like 2018, so that was more recent than Drug Dealers Anonymous. That was the first one that came to mind when I asked the question. So, it's gonna be interesting,
super
man.
impressed by that.
I think that Jay is, like I said, at a point in his career where LL might have been in the late '90s. You remember when LL was jumping on a bunch of different records and just kind of going last and just going in. Like I was listening to Blackout the other day.
That was Puff. Wasn't that Puff having him do that?
Puff? LL?
Wasn't Puff managing LL?
I didn't know
What
that.
years you talking?
I'm
Puff
talking like
managed
99,
LL.
2000 ish.
No, you're talking after what I'm talking.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cause I was listening to Blackout the other day, man, and the song with Ja Rule. What was the name? Four Seasons, I think it was. Yeah. And LL was spazzing on it. He was just rapping hard. You know what I mean? Incredible catalog. I know that's kind of a segue into where we're going, but you said a few things, praising LL and his catalog because you had the honor of, going through and being able to pick 20 LL records. What were some of the things that, you came across when going through LL's catalog?
Well, a few things. So, we just had a whole talk about L and Cool G Rap and all these guys during in reference to the Kane and the KRS verses, right? And so a lot of people were upset when I left L out of my top five in terms of lyricists. Well, Mike, like I stand here today and I tell you, well, like in terms of like lyricists, he may have like been right outside my top five for me personally from that era. But as far as songs, though, Mike,
well, do you still stand on the fact that you think him and Slick Rick should do a versus, or think that's a wrap?
That's a wrap for Slick.
Okay.
Because what I was about to say is I think he would beat Kane with this, and he would probably beat KRS with this. And so, in terms of like his overall hit making and song making ability, he's the best guy from his era in terms of that. If we're talking about the like making a song and making a hit record. And Mike, and it's like you said, if we're talking about a hit catalog, like the strength of the hits,
Right.
I don't know if there's anybody that necessarily has this many classic hits.
Does Jeezy have something that would go against Rock the Bells?
That's what I'm saying. No, Mike.
Yeah,
That's epic.
it is.
But that's against anybody. And so like lyrically, I don't think he's the best from his era. But when I went through his catalog and I listened to his songs, it's like what I saw was probably the best full songwriter of his era.
Oh,
If that
definitely.
makes sense. You know what I'm
We
saying?
talk
Which
about
is
hit records.
which Mike, which is actually funny because he precedes everybody actually, and he's like the best songwriter, and it kind of shows in the quality of the hits more than anything else.
And I think in a
Which
couple
is what he.
shows back or a few months back, not to interrupt you, I
Oh,
maybe
go ahead.
misspoke when it came to saying that Nelly is the best pure hit maker in hip hop, and you said LL, and we got to give it to LL. I mean, he
Yeah.
created the solo superstar in hip hop.
So Mike, here's what I mean about like how classic the hits are. I kind of knew about. I'd say, Mike, I knew about 13 of these records that were going on here beforehand off the top of my head.
Right.
And so I was going through his catalog to pick the other records, and I still couldn't stop listening to these records anyway. I was like, oh, it's right there. I need to hear
The
it.
challenge for somebody like a LL and Jay-Z is the fact that what records are you going to pick? When I was going through Busta's catalog, and I'm a huge Busta fan. I love ELE. I love The Coming. Shit, I think When Disaster Strikes is super dope too. I think his first three as an MC, he just broke through in a way that, I mean, I had never heard. And he was able to make some hits too.
Mhm.
On top of that, but when it comes to Busta, it's like I knew what songs to go to, and I know you were saying a few things about, some LL songs you left out, like, Jack the Ripper's not on there. That's one of my favorite LL records. We talk about the breakthrough. That definitely couldn't make his 20. He has too many important records.
Mhm.
You know, these two guys are some of the best rapping guys on hip hop records. I put Biggie in that fold too. One of the guys that I feel like no one really mentions when it comes to that, because he was in a group, Tretch really rapped very hard on hit records. I was just sitting back and listening to Naughty by Nature's catalog. Like, these are some big songs. This guy was spitting on
Hey,
hits records. He wasn't
Tretch is
he wasn't
really
toning it down or nothing.
Mike. Tretch is really, really underrated as an MC
Because he was in a group.
lyrically
Yeah.
on their hits were almost too crossover to the point that it was detrimental to his MC status. You feel
No.
what I'm saying?
I mean,
Like
even
Hip
like
Hop
songs
Array,
like Feel Me
like when you
Flow.
listen, when
Yeah.
you look, oh Mike, Feel Me Flow
You
is
about
a
to feel the
lyrical
chronicles of a bionicle lyrically spitting, just missing. I'm on a mission and just hitting. Like, you rapping on
Mike,
a hit record like this? It's
Mike, like lyrically, like Feel Me Flow is actually like a tour de force of a lyrical rap performance, and it's a hit record. And lyrically, it's like you said, Mike. It's
And
yeah,
when
Tretch
they
is
didn't try to make a hit record like Craziest or something, those are just some hard ass songs.
craziest. Uptown Anthem.
Uptown
Yeah,
Anthem is hard. Yeah, that's not
yeah,
them
all
trying to
that
make a
shit.
hit. Like OPP, this nigga is spitting on that, man. Like,
Yeah, he's spitting game too. Like he's
yeah,
spitting lyrically and he's spitting game.
hip hop parade, he's spitting, man. You put your heart in the part of a part to express a part. Like, what? Yeah, I don't think that, I don't want to jump out the window here, but I don't think there's anybody that raps harder on hit records than Tretch. Like, you could hear Jay tone it down on hits, right? You could hear Nas tone it down on hits. Biggie rapped hard on hit records too. I give Biggie that.
Biggie's flow is just so more versatile and agile than Tretch's, but in terms of content and subject matter, very comparable in terms of not holding anything back.
Right. Do
Mhm.
you think L toned it down on hit records a little bit?
No, see, this is what I mean. I don't know if L toned it down. I think L is a songwriter who sets a tone. That's what's great about him as
So
a
his tone
songwriter.
is the hit records.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the tone that he sets. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I feel like giving it to you rough and rugged. So it's like we're gonna do Rock the Bells. It's like, oh well, I want to smooth it out, so we're gonna do Hey Lover. Oh, like well, I want to do some posse cut rap shit, so we're gonna do I Shot You Remix. You feel what I'm saying?
Well,
It's
I
like he
feel
kind of
I
sets the
heard
tone.
I heard Russell Simmons in an interview. It might have been when he was doing his Vlad interview, but he said that they made it a point, and this is early on because there really was no blueprint at that point. It made a point to if they had a real big hit record on the A side, they wanted to have just that big of a street record on the B side when it came to L. And I guess L just kept that whole rhythm going, through the strongest parts of his career. And he kind of never let go of that. And I'm sure you probably exhibited some of this in the songs that you chose, especially, I think I'm pretty sure you chose I Shot You. Where do you think, and again, this is kind of problematic when it comes to the I Shot You. Are you doing the remix or are you doing the regular one?
I'm doing the remix
He's
because this is
stronger
the
on the regular one, though.
okay. So what I was about to say is that I thought about that too. He is stronger on the regular one, but because this is a versus, you could still bring out
I got
Keith
you.
Murray,
I got you.
Fat Joe, and Foxy. I mean, Prodigy's not here, of course, but you get what I'm saying. So that's more impact and effect to do that. But if he was smart, he would actually
Fat
do
Joe's at
his.
every verses, so yeah, he's gonna be.
But Mike, but to what you're saying, and I had that same thought. If he was smart, he would actually do his best verse for My Shot Shit, the
Right.
original version with the hook, and then have them come out to the remix after he did one of those verses. So I agree with you on that.
I agree with that. I think that would be very, very powerful. Like
But to me, that's more performance and setup. That's why I just put I Shot Your Remix down. But my sentiments are the same as yours in that regard.
he was going to Pac on I Shot You, the original, I believe. I don't know. That's what I've been told. Kind of sounds like that. When you think about it, or when you break down the lyrics, because he was welcoming someone to a battle. Hold up, man. I want to pull up the lyrics. I know we got 40 people in the room. We might as well get started. So
But
I,
hold
I
on, I
really
want
want
to
to
say one
break down.
last thing.
We could do that in a later show.
Right, we can do that later. So I want to say one last thing before I get started too. I think another thing that gets understated about L is his output in his prime. In 10 years, he released 6 albums.
People weren't doing that.
85 to 95, 6 albums, 6 full albums, like all with at least like, I think the first album is the only one with less than like 13, 14 songs. And I think that has like 13.
All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and get started, man. We got some people in the room. Shout out to everybody in the room. Want y'all to like, comment, and share the video too. Subscribe to According to Hip Hop channel. Hit the bell icon, so you can know when we're going live, all that stuff. What me and Cooper are about to do right now, we're about to go song for song with LL Cool J and Busta Rhymes. I picked 20 Busta Rhymes records. Coop picked 20 LL records, and we want y'all to help us kind of judge round for round. So.
And this is messed up because you've seen my list and I still can't see yours because I don't be looking
haven't
at
really
the screens
seen
or
your
watching.
list. I mean, I went through your list. I mean, my list was finished and everything already.
No. I
posted,
think I dig that, but it's like when you say your Busta Rhymes songs, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay.
Man, it's Busta. You kind of know what I'm picking anyway.
Yeah, I know what you're picking.
All
I know at least 10 of your songs. I know at least half of the songs you're picking at least.
Well, let's go. You started out with I Can't Live Without My Radio. I started out with Touch It. L gets that one.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you what, man. I was scared to start it out with Woo Ha. I was gonna do that, but I didn't. I figured you were gonna start out with a crazy one, so I was like, let me hold back on Woo Ha so it don't get beat by like a Rock the Bells or something.
Well, also too, one thing too is that some of L's catalog and best stuff is 85 and 87, and so you got to kind of place it properly because of production wise where it's at, and so like you got to take advantage of certain moments, and so I Can't Live Without My Radio is good come out music for L, and
Right.
Also it takes one of those early songs that doesn't sound as well crafted as some of his later hits, it kind of gets that out the way, and it's still classic stuff. That's what I mean. He was great pretty early. This is him at like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
No,
15,
radio. Yeah,
16,
about you're right.
15, 16.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15, 16. The greatest child MC ever, if we want to be technical with it. Yo, I just want everybody to know, I ain't, construct my list, after seeing yours.
Yeah, we did that separate. Yeah.
I anticipated the fact that you were going to win round one. So I kind of held back. And I'm like, look, we could start Busta with Touch It. You can have Touch It. Boom. So round two, we got Booming System and Woo Ha. Busta got that one.
Yeah. That's Woo Ha.
Nice. Ooh, Lounging Remix and Dangerous, man. Lounging got that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Not a lot of these are really up for discussion.
I told you, L's pretty tough. His like classic stuff. Like I said, his hits, when he hits, he hits.
Okay. I think I got this next round. We got Backseat of My Jeep, Flavor in Your Ear remix. So, Flavor in Your Ear remix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That might be my favorite Busta Rhymes guest appearance. Like not best, but like personal favorite. That still might be it.
Yeah. Great record, man. He sounded great on there. All right, I Need a Beat remix and Break Your Neck. I Need a Beat. Come on.
Yeah. You want to know what else too? I noticed about L. I think he was kind of bought up in a time by Russ and Rick Rubin to like make hit records, and that was the focus and how he crafted things out.
Yeah.
And so that was where the template to really stay modern with the times came from. And I just want to say, like, him kind of wanting to stay modern with the times kind of hurt him a little bit in terms of the consistency of his catalog, Mike, because he really doesn't sound like LL doesn't sound like he has production specifically tailored for him and not to the sound of the times until Mr. Smith.
No, you're right.
And that's it.
And Trackmasters did an incredible job. I'm not a huge Trackmasters fan like that, and I think that's because of their work with Nas. But I think the work that they did with LL is probably their best. And it's funny, we never really talk about Trackmasters in that aspect. They worked with L, Nas, and Jay, very heavy, and they did their best work with L. There's something to say about L when it comes to that.
There is, because if you literally go listen to the 5 previous projects of his, it sounds production-wise, that they're giving him tracks that are trying to fit into the sound of an era. In particular, like Mama Said Knock You Out with Marley Marl, it sounds like, he's around Rakim and Kane and these guys, and that's what the beats kind of sound like on that album.
So you don't feel like Marley gave him a sound? Because Around the Way Girl, to me, that's L. I mean, I don't know.
Moments don't make like sounds, and so Mama Said Knock You Out has moments, most notably Around the Way Girl and Mama Said Knock You Out. But in totality, no, it sounds production-wise in its totality more like what the time sounds like.
Okay.
Mr. Smith sounds like some shit that Trackmasters tailored for L. Like, we don't care what it sounds like. We want L to be comfortable. And if you actually look at it, like Mike, it's a lot of classic stuff on Mr. Smith.
You're right.
And
Around the Way Girl kind of sounds like, Living Single,
That's what I mean. It sounds like the times. It sounds like the times.
Yeah.
And so, and when you think about it, Mike, but there are great records on Mr. Smith that I left off, like the record Hip Hop, No Airplay. Like he sounds comfortable on what he's doing on there.
Now, when it came to that record in particular, let's just say Around the Way Girl, right? Does LL sound like the times, or do the times sound like LL?
It's one of those perfect moments where they actually both meet in the middle.
Okay. I could see that.
Somewhere in the middle of that, yeah.
Looks like you're up 3-2, or LL's up 3-2. Excuse me. Because I Need a Beat is definitely better than Break Your Neck. All right, so we got Going Back to Cali, and then I went ahead and went Busta Rhymes Simon Says remix. I was torn by even using this.
Well, let's say, why'd you pick that?
I thought his verse was really dope on there, and I think that beat is iconic, and he produced that beat. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. That's a beat that you hear everywhere.
I didn't know that.
And Busta Rhymes actually produced that beat. So that
I didn't know that.
And on the remix, he went nuts on it. So,
Well, hold on, Mike. No. Well, actually, I got to dock you a little bit for that, because if he made the beat, of course I mean, he knows the intricacies of the beat. He built it.
Eminem does that all the time. Come on now.
I'm not doing that today.
Eminem finds his way on our show every freaking week. All right.
It's usually your fault.
So yeah, going back to Cali's better than Simon Says remix.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Let the people see what the people say. But you want to know what too? Like Mike,
that's the one I want to put on the people. Is LL Cool J's going back to Cali better than Pharoah Monch's Simon Says remix?
Because you want to know what? Going back to Cali is one of those songs that when it came out, Mike, people were like, "Man, it's over for this dude."
I was gonna say, going back to Cali wasn't well received.
Right.
I mean, it's a classic now over time, and then how many people have used it, and the fact that the saying is a staple. Even the track is a staple to a certain degree, but it wasn't well received. Now, I will say that Pharoah Monch song, Simon Says, it's a classic. I mean, it's aged well and everything, but
no, I'm not taking that away. But going back to Cali might be like that whole album. He took a lot of chances,
yeah.
But that was probably the biggest risk that he took, and he took a hit for it early. But the longevity of it, and it's different now. Like it wasn't looked upon, and so like I would still give it the nod just because over a course of time, what it became as opposed to how it was viewed. I remember being a kid.
I think my only question, not to interrupt you, and people in the chat are saying going back to Cali's better. I think my only question would be if this were done in a Verzuz setting, which one is going to take the crowd? LL going back to Cali, or Busta doing his verse on that Pharoah Monch song? I don't know.
I mean, depending on what the stage is, like L can have a whole Cali setup or something. You know what I mean? He can have Snoop come out in the lowrider or something. You know what I mean?
You're right. It can be played upon.
Yeah,
and they got a whole coast behind it. So.
Right, these guys are big, yeah.
Okay, going back to Cali gets the nod. All right, so we got Rock the Bells, Jesus. And I got Everything Remains Raw. Rock the Bells, definitely. And that's still Rock the Bells. And that's sad because it took out one of my favorite Busta Rhymes songs.
That's still my favorite Busta Rhymes song, Mike. It's still my favorite Busta Rhymes song.
I was listening to it before the broadcast.
No, I heard you when I was upstairs.
Yo, man, he went crazy on there. That second verse, distribute lyrics like I'm hand to hand, herb hustling, hardcore like Rick Wop, quick draw McGraw. That's the first verse, but yeah. What was the you a moving target? I got you open like supermarket. That's the Busta I love, man. I hate that Everything Remains Raw. Just got knocked out, man. So right now it's looking like 2-5. Jesus Christ.
Told you, Mike.
Okay, what about this one?
Go ahead.
4, 3, 2, 1 versus the Annie Up remix.
Ooh.
Let's be fair here. The answer's 4, 3, 2, 1, man. It is, man.
I love the Annie Up remix.
I love the Annie Up remix too, but this is 4, 3, 2, 1, man. And I hate another really massive song got taken out. Real Talk says Busta's not on LL's level. LL is top 10, the most trend-setting icons of hip-hop. One of the most trend-setting icons of hip-hop. Sorry. And he's a better actor. What y'all mean, man? Busta Rhymes killed Michael Myers, my nigga. What are we talking about?
He was Samuel L's right-hand man in the Shaft redo, too. He did stop.
Yo, Busta was heavy in the movies. You know what? I think Busta is an underrated actor. I don't know why he stopped acting. He was dope. I like him in Higher Learning.
L's still a better actor. He's right on.
I mean,
right
L had a sitcom, man. When you have a sitcom, you're next level. Like, I think that people who hold down sitcoms and seasons, L, Queen Latifah, Will, they're just different level of actor. Like, you can jump on a movie set, and I ain't saying making a movie's easy. Never made a movie in my life. But you got a lot of help when it comes to movies. But you doing a sitcom, that takes a lot of dedication.
No, they're rappers first and MCs first, and so they have character and personality. And if you'll look at all their shows and sitcoms, it was playoffs of into who they were kind of personally, so it made the transition easy. If you go look at their shows, the characters are kind of like not exact reflections, but you know, there are some reflections of who they really are in those characters. You know what I mean? Like LL's really into fitness and working out. He played a running back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Any Given Sunday was great. Yo, Ritter Raw 7 says you're not playing the right tracks for Busta. What tracks do I need to pull out for Rock the
Hold on,
Bells?
Mike. Now, Mike. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't love that you played "Touch It," and I don't love that you played the Simon Says remix. I don't.
Okay.
I don't love it.
What would you put in place of it?
I want to hear what else you have because I'm
Oh, that's
expecting
right.
for
You
you to
can't see
take
the
some of
list
these
on your
records
screen.
off of me. I can't see your list, so I'm
Let
expecting
me
you to take
text you
some
my
of these
list.
off of me.
Let me text you my list so we're being
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I forgot to text Coop my list.
No, it's cool. I like the element of surprise. It's good for the
Just
people.
so we can have a better show. Let me go ahead and text you my list, okay? Because he can't
Yeah.
see it on this end. All right. So where we at right now? You just beat 4, 3, 2, 1 out. So we talking about. Damn.
What are you doing?
It's looking 6-2.
It's about to look bad for you some more too. What are you doing?
What did I do wrong?
Oh God, maybe. Hold on. Hold on. Where are we about to go to?
We're about to go doing it. No, we're about to go.
Okay, no. You got some stuff, Mike. But I mean,
we got doing it past the Cavassier. I think doing it again, man. I mean,
yeah, Mike, you're not.
I'm just being fair.
It's all bad for you.
All right, Murdergram and Fire It Up. I'm sorry, I'm going Fire It Up. Fire It Up with that.
We can go Fire It Up on that one. That's why I was like, I'm starting to look at my list against your list.
I Need Love and Give Me Some More. I mean, I Need Love. These are iconic records, man.
They are. I actually love Give Me Some More, though.
I love Give Me Some More, too, but it's not better than I Need Love. I mean, I just can't make it. It's
not more important.
It's not.
It's not the same level. It's not the same level. That's what I mean about when L hits. Oh, he hits high.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I love Busta, and I'm a Busta fan. But he has dope records that don't really match the level of these LL records. And, you know, and not many people have that. Like you said, L would beat a lot of people with this. Like, put that L list up against what you put with the KRS list, and we could really, you know what I'm saying, see what's good. I mean, we could do that after this if you want to. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's difficult. I want to do that because I still have your KRS list. I'll do that after we finish here.
Run it, pull it up.
Yeah, and anybody thinking that I'm missing some Busta records or whatever,
Mike, you want to know
please let me know what you put in place.
I mean, first of all, Ill Vibe with Q-Tip isn't on here, and you're a Q-Tip and Busta fan, and that's off.
That's not a hit.
Like Ill Vibe. It doesn't need to be a hit for it to be like, you know what I'm saying?
Going up against LL, it needs to be a hit. It does. I understand who I'm going against. If this was somebody else, then yeah.
No, because Mike, I kind of picked some of the tracks that I picked and took some stuff off to kind of like go up against some of Busta's or hard shit or like dope shit. Like Busta's, I get what you're talking about. You're looking at who you're going against. It's just like I don't know.
What you think? Ill Vibe is? You know what? The one Busta record that I did leave off, that I was debating whether to put it on or not, was It's a Party with John A.
I was about to say, like, that's a possibility too, because it's a hit record and it's L.
And I was also going with the fact or just going with the notion of what I normally see Busta perform. He don't perform that record.
He need to do this shit against L. That's what I'm saying.
Like, he don't.
And that's what I mean. It's a performance. It would be dope if he would have did a mashup of like towards the end, do Ill Vibe and have Q-Tip come out and do the recent record they did together on ELE too, because that was dope. And it's verses, so it's live. So it'd be dope just to hear those records and have Q-Tip on there live with Busta.
It's a Party is a banger, man. It is a banger. I love that record.
It's part of why I picked 4, 3, 2, 1 and I Shot You and took some of L's hits off is because of the verses and the come out factor. Because he can get Method Man and Redman to come out, probably not Cannabis.
But he got the versatility to do that. And even with those records that you're talking about, those are hits. Though Ill Vibe is not on the level of those songs. Come on now. Let's be real. And I love Q-Tip.
Mm.
All right, so where
It's
we
just
at?
okay.
Murdergram, fired up. I got fired up on that.
That's
Okay,
cool.
I need love, and give me some more is where we're at. I mean, come
Yeah,
on, man.
I need love. Yeah.
Yeah, I need love. So we're looking at 7-3. Actually, it's 8-3 now. Yeah, because of
Very
round 11.
problematic.
We're looking
Very
at.
problematic.
Is this a skunk at this point? All right, well, let's keep going.
Yeah, no, just keep going.
Queens is what it is right now. What it is right now. I got that.
Yeah. See, that was one of the harder tracks that I threw in and I took a hit off. You remember Queens is with Prodigy? Like
Yeah.
L spitting on there.
When I saw that on your list, I was like, I see what you're doing, but you didn't even have to do that. Like,
Well, I wasn't sure what Busta songs you were gonna come with. That's why I was like, Busta got some,
he do.
right.
Okay, Hey Lover, and he got some joints. And Look at Me Now.
Ooh.
I got Look at Me Now on that.
I enjoy Look at Me Now more than Hey Lover. Yeah. Hey Lover is a really, really great record, and it's a dope record. Of all his I guess like female driven songs, that's probably the least iconic of them, possibly. Of like in his prime at least.
Rigor Ross says, "Where's the Big Bang? You bugging? Where are the hits on the Big Bang? I mean, I love my chick.
Yeah.
New York shit. I mean, New York shit possibly, but
New York shit maybe.
But is New York shit bigger than Simon Says? Let's keep it real. Like, if we're talking about he's sitting here in Barclays Center, let's say they're in Brooklyn or wherever, or they're in Madison Square Garden. When you drop that, dun 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 dun, you want that or New York shit? Let's be real. Exactly.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. No, you're right. I'm side with you on that one. You're right. You're absolutely right.
All right.
Okay.
So we got, you know what? Busta's making a slight comeback. It's 8-5.
That's why I said no. When I seen your records and then I started lining them up and I look at what I had left, I was like, no, I'm still gonna win this. But it's like, no, like you're gonna win some records.
People are saying In the Ghetto, but again, the Rick James sample, it was cool. But I didn't like the Get Out of Here that he did on Anarchy either. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the records where Busta was kind of going away from his identity. I like Big Bang in a vacuum as far as like how well it was put together. But do we really feel like that's Busta Rhymes? I think there were a few moments on that album where he was the Busta that we remember. This seemed more of like a Dr. Dre concoction. But, we can get into that. 8-5, man. And we're at Mama Said Knock You Out and Make It Clap. Yeah, Mama Said Knock You Out, definitely.
That might still be my favorite LL record.
Yeah, it's up there. That's one that, you put on the headphones in the gym. All right. We got Big Ol' Butt, As I Come Back. Give me As I Come Back. And I'll
let the people decide that.
As I Come Back's hard. Now that is one of those Busta records where I said, fuck the hits. We're going with the hardcore shit.
Yeah, you can have As I Come Back. You're right. That's fair.
As I Come Back is a beast. I really wish, especially during that period, Busta and the Neptunes would have made a whole project together. I really wish around Genesis or at least them doing 80% of the project. They worked so well together. Like they kind of had like a Timbaland and Missy thing going. But the fact that not that loud. But you know what I mean as far as like the weirdo stuff that the Neptunes made. Busta could actually make it sound like something where other people couldn't.
The synergy.
Yeah, like this whole thing where you could tell that they were on the same page. And
like,
he had the kind of voice that made, like, who else could have done As I Come Back?
It's that musical language of people like understanding and vibing with each other. It's like, no, I get exactly what you're trying to do, even though everybody else thinks you crazy right now. Yeah.
Right. Because a lot of that stuff that Missy jumped on for Timbaland, like nobody else could have done that.
Right, Mike. I mean, that's what's happening right now with Nas and Hit Boy. It's like the synergy. It's like, no, I get exactly what you're trying to do, and I'm thinking the same thing the same way. Let's go.
I would have
You
loved to
know,
have seen those sessions with Busta and the Neptunes, man. Like Pharrell
don't
and Busta
but
really
Mike,
get each other.
but when you bring up Missy and Timberland, I mean that's ooh.
Oh
Like
man, to me, I think they're the
it
second
was so
best
groundbreaking.
combination,
It was
man.
so groundbreaking and innovative, like what you would hear from them for about, I'd say, about a 3 or 4 or 5 year period, Mike. Right?
I mean, we were sitting on the edge of our seats waiting on the next record just to like, because we knew we were gonna hear something we never heard before.
Right, right.
Yeah,
It was just going to be interesting. The worst it was going to be was very interesting.
yeah. I mean, because I remember like first day, Missy was one of those first day purchases because you knew you were gonna hear some new shit. Like me and my homeboy Melvin, man, he's a great producer, and we were just always mesmerized by the production that was coming out on these projects because it was some shit that we never heard before. Like
Right.
the Real World, when she dropped that, we like, yo, this is the best beats we ever heard. And then
Like
she
the
dropped
drum,
Miss E So Addicted. Like, yo, I never heard nothing like
like
this.
like like some of the drums and the beat patterns that Timberland was using, like even on her first album. And I mean, I think
Yeah.
I was like, what is that? Like,
They
you
recorded
didn't
that
even,
album in a week or put it together in a week,
you don't even
allegedly.
know how to qualify it. Yeah, but
People are saying As I Come Back got that round.
okay, that's cool. I'm with that.
Okay. Around the Way Girl and Tear the Roof Off. Around the Way Girl.
Yeah, I love Tear the Roof Off.
I love Tear the Roof Off too, man. It's very sad. Very sad. Ill
You want to
Bomb
know?
and oh, go ahead.
We're just finding out that like Busta has hits and he's got a lot of hits, but like I said, when L hits, he hits
These are
high.
iconic hits, man. Like,
These are iconic hits. Like they're big.
but you know what? Again, man, I think it's good
They're
to
not
do these
regular
things.
hits, Mike. That's what I was like. Kept on saying, I was like, man, these hits ain't regular. Like these are bigger. These are bigger than Nelly's hits. These are bigger than Ja Rule's hits.
These are iconic hits, and you know what? It's one of those things where, and it's funny. People got in the comment section thinking that we shitting on LL or whatever in the previous episodes. We're clearly not.
They just
But
didn't
when
watch the
people
full
were out
episode.
here talking about LL and Busta Rhymes, I'm like, okay, well, let's explore this so we can really see what's going on. And yeah, I knew it was going to end up like this. I knew it was
You
going to end up
called it,
like
Mike.
this
No, Mike.
because at the end
You
of
and
the
I've been
day,
talking. You said it.
at the end of the day, if I did go the other route and start picking like some B-side Busta stuff, like Abandoned Ship and shit that I love like that, there's no way it could stand up Around the Way Girl and Hey Lover. I just can't. You know what I mean? Like you can't make a real argument for it.
No,
So
Mike.
yeah, LL's not the best matchup for Busta, but we'll keep this going. We'll
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
this going.
But Mike, are you listening to how big these hits
These are
are?
big, big songs, and you left some big songs off.
I told you I left all the diss stuff off pretty much except for I Shot You. Like that's only diss stuff.
If we keep it real, like this whole versus format, this thing is tailor made for somebody like LL Cool J. Period. Like it's very tough for anybody, and when I say anybody, I mean anybody. Even if we're
Mike,
talking about the great Nasir,
no, Mike. If we're
as
talking
big as
about
these songs are, it's
no,
hard.
that's what I was about to say. So, Mike, you know what? The only two people that really have as many iconic classic single hits as him are like Pac and Big and like maybe Snoop in terms of like the level of how iconic the classic singles are.
I like
They
Snoop.
can go.
I like Snoop. I think we may
Yeah.
should have had LL and Snoop instead of Snoop and DMX. Even though it was
Yeah.
great, it was fun to watch. But yeah, you're gonna need like Dr. Dre production to stand up
These
to these
hits are
LL hits.
big, Mike. Lounging was big. Doing it was massive.
I'm gonna be honest,
Bringing
man. When you
Love
talk
is
about
iconic.
hits and staples, I don't even know if Tupac and Big got 20 of
No,
these.
no. I didn't say 20. I'm just talking about just
Yeah.
having like enough for it even to be like relevant to take some of these songs away. Like L's winning all of his iconic classic songs against Buster right now is what I'm saying. When I'm thinking about it, I'm not saying they have more because they don't. I'm saying enough to take some of these down, like a Dear Mama, a California Love, a One More Chance, a Juicy, a Hypnotize.
No, I agree with you. And Bust,
Yeah.
honestly, man, and I love Bust. I'm a huge Buster fan. Just don't have those records.
Like,
Rick
Mike,
Raw really hates the selection that I
like,
made. I want to know. We're on live
like,
right now. We're on live right now, so I would love you guys' input. Let me know what Busta Rhymes records are out there that I left off that could have beaten these LL records. I just want to know.
Like Mike, wouldn't it be dope to put, like Mike, wouldn't it be dope to put the Going Back to Cali versions up against each other? Wouldn't Big probably win that? Isn't that a better Going Back to Cali to people? It's not
I've
as
never been a
iconic.
fan of that going back to Cali. I mean, he's rapping better on there than LL, but I think the beat.
Rapping better than everybody on there, but whatever.
I think the
He's
beat
rapping
that
better than
LL had.
everybody.
Yeah, I guess it is a better version of going
He's
back
rapping
to
better
Cali.
than everybody on there. What do you
But
mean?
it's one of those things, man. Like the remake, it's hard to say that a remake is better than the original. It was even hard for people to say
the original's
Twins
more iconic,
is
but I
better
mean, like,
than Deep Cover. You know?
no, but what I'm saying is it's just more of an argument because it's like, oh, well, if you got Around the Way Girl, it's like, okay, well, I got a fucking you tonight. I got One More Chance. I got Juicy. I got something to go off of to take some of these records off you. Not a lot of people have records like that. Like Nas don't have records like that.
And it could end with Flavor in Your Ear. It's very interesting that I had to use Flavor in Your Ear and you didn't.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. It wasn't even. Why would I use that verse?
Exactly. I had to.
No, Mike, that's one of Busta's moments. I love the Flavor in Your remix verse. He showed out. It's right after L's verse.
All right. So where we at now? We at Ill Bomb, I think. Ill Bomb and What's It Gonna Be? I'm going with What's It Gonna Be on that. And I love Ill Bomb. Incredible record. Especially
Def
for the
Jam,
era it
nigga,
came
who's
out.
next to need a favor.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask Russell who put him in that
Who put him on the
skyscraper.
skyscraper? Yeah.
Ask my guys up in Fubu who
The
made
people
a
who made a
major.
major.
Yeah.
LL, nigga, who's next to need a favor.
Drop a bomb on him. All right.
Yeah.
I Shot Your remix versus I Know What You Want. I hate this song, but it's so big that I know that Busta would have to use it. That's the song with Flip Mode and Mariah Carey.
It's a dope record, Mike. I Know What You
I
Want.
never liked that song, man.
Oh, Mike.
Well, it doesn't beat I Shot You,
It doesn't.
especially if you bring Fat Joe and
that's one of
Foxy out.
but that's one of those few times that Buster made a hit record and the women really, really loved and were drawn to the record. It was a good moment for him. Yeah.
Okay. Very big moment. Still got beaten. I'm Bad versus Scenario.
Ooh.
I'm going Scenario.
I'll give you Scenario, Mike. Yes. I think Scenario's better than I'm Bad. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Jingling Baby and Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See.
Mike, better than Jingling Baby?
Yes.
No.
Two of their best songs.
No.
What do the people in the chat think? Honestly, I think that
I don't think so.
Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See is.
Come on, Mike. No. Like, I love Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. The visual aid is iconic, game changing, but no, not better than Jingling Baby. I don't think so.
Rigor Ross
You
says
think so?
order matters too. How you got Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See last? You got to play that early, fam. I don't know. I think people close out with their biggest record, and I think everybody. I think everybody knows that Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See is Busta's strongest hit record, right? Probably his biggest record too. I don't know about charts, but as far as if we're talking about
what's it gonna be
legs.
what's it gonna be in the Mariah record were bigger records, but you're
you
talking
know what
about
I mean.
best. No,
Yeah.
if you're talking about best, possibly, but it's not better than Jingling Baby.
Terminator 2 says Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. TJ says Jingling Baby. DeCarlo says Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. What do y'all think in the room? Busta Rhymes, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, or LL's Jingling Baby? If I were to put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See early, and I did think about that, to be perfectly honest. If I would have put that early, then I would have closed with Scenario, or vice versa. But again, going up against LL, I'm like, you know what? I need to hit with some haymakers at the end.
I thought about ending with Mama Said Knock You Out.
That would have been a good one to end with.
But
I mean, people are all over the
much
place on this. We got people saying Jingling Baby, Jingling Baby, Jingling Baby, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. Okay.
We can call it a wash. Let's just call that one a draw.
If we can call that one a draw, then we ended at 8-10. And, if Busta would have won that, it would have been 9-11. If L would have won that, it would have been 12-7. 12-8. So this was closer than it appeared, but again,
Those records are big.
There were some records that you
I
left
some
off.
stuff off.
Yeah.
Like
I gave you everything.
Like Mike, I'm gonna tell you exactly the records like I could have took off. I could have took Big Old Butt off, Queens Is, and Murdergram, and Backseat off, and inserted different records that were maybe stronger.
A part of me wants to go and find your because I didn't do this in the show originally. I want to go find your KRS list. I want to find your KRS list and put it up here. I mean, are you okay with that? Do you have your KRS list? I mean, because we got 70 people in the room. We might as well, talk about it and just kind of put LL's catalog in context.
I'll go get it if you want.
No, you don't have to go get it. I think I have it here, saved on the computer. I was just going to throw it up on the screen.
Yeah, run it.
You down for that? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
run it.
Okay, let me find this real quick. Y'all bear with us since we're on live, television right now, I guess we would say. Because I don't think I deleted it. I think I got it right here. Let me see. That is going to be it's Coop LL list. Like this. Maybe I don't have it.
I'll be right back.
It's all good. You know exactly where it's at?
Keep notebooks.
I'm about to read what you guys have to say about this stuff. Busta got this round. Jingling Baby over Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. Busta needs Split Star for assistance. So y'all think that the performance on Busta's end will put him over the top? Clarence Todman says, you have to calm down, and Busta brings out Eminem. Oh, yeah. Busta could win off of collabos and performances. Terminator 2 says, absolutely need victory. Okay, so are y'all cool with Busta just doing a hook? Because I thought about victory, and I thought about my favorite hook, or one of my favorite hooks ever, is Rampage is Wild for the Night.
I love Wild for the Night.
Wild for the Night is fucking insane, man. But I remember when 2 Chainz got on Verzuz against Ross, and he did a hook for fucking Problems, and I'm like, why'd you do that? Unless Busta did a medley of his hooks or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, but other than that, that's tough, man. You got your KRS list?
I do.
All right, so what did you have first with KRS?
I'm still number one.
I'm still number one. Does not beat Can't Live Without My Radio. What we got next?
The Bridge Is Over.
The Bridge Is Over versus Booming System. Yes, The Bridge Is Over wins that.
Rappers Are in Danger.
Rappers Are in Danger versus Loungin' Remix. I got Loungin' Remix. What do you say?
The heads are gonna say Rappers Are in Danger.
What do you say?
I think I say Loungin' actually on that one. I love Loungin'. That's actually one of my favorite LL records, Mike.
Actually, one of my favorite LL records as well. I love Loungin'. It's one of my favorite hip hop songs ever, honestly.
Like how about this?
In a one more chance type of way.
Right. So like when I do like playlists of my favorite artists, I do usually what I like to call an album worth of songs. So I usually do 15 songs. That would make the 15 for me. Loungin' would yeah.
Oh, most definitely. I love Loungin', man. Total killed that hook. They sound like a young New Edition on that joint.
Yeah. They sound. Everything about that is glorious. Even the video.
Sound like Ralph Trazman out there. Okay. So backseat of my Jeep. What you got?
Black Cop.
Black Cop wins that. So that's shit. That's 2-2 right there. Okay, I Need a Beat remix.
Stop the Violence.
Stop the Violence. I Need a Beat remix. Give me I Need a Beat remix. King Mark says still number one over radio. Go ahead.
I knew some people were going to say that too. I'm still number one is really, really big to some people too. So I knew that was going to happen. Yeah. I don't know about Stop the Violence, Mike, but I'll give you that for now. We'll see what the people say.
Okay. That was Stop the Violence versus I Need a Beat remix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With that going to L, that puts L at a 3-2 advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, what did you have next?
9mm Goes Bang.
Whoo! 9mm Goes Bang versus Going Back to Cali. I'm going 9mm Goes Bang on that.
So is everybody else, Mike. Okay. Next.
All right. Rock the Bells. What you got?
I I can't wake up, so that's L.
Rock the bells. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Step into a world.
Step into a world gets that, I think. I don't
Me
know.
too.
That's close.
That is.
But I
It's
like Step
fascinating.
into a world.
Me
What
too.
do y'all think in the chat? I'm giving it to Step into a world.
I don't know. We can maybe watch that for now, Mike. I think that's a good watch record. Yeah, let's draw that for
4, 3, 2, 1, or Step into a world. We got a tie on that one. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the same level. Yeah.
Doing it.
South Bronx.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Let's talk about this one.
No. Let the people talk on that one.
Okay.
I don't even want to touch that.
Doing it versus South Bronx. What y'all got in the room, man?
That's fascinating.
We got 68 people in the room, man. Y'all share and tell a friend to tell a friend. Man, we got people saying Step into a world. We got people saying 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1.
But South Bronx.
I want to know South Bronx are doing it. Two totally different types of songs.
But in the element of who the artists are truly.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think it's like the best example of who these artists are.
Yeah, this is who they are.
King Mark says doing it. Real Talk says KRS needs this ASAP. DeCarlo says doing it. Gonna slap harder. Terminator 2 says doing it. Junior Sexman says doing it. TJ says South Bronx. So I guess based on the people, man, we might have to go doing it.
We're gonna go doing it for
Angel
now, Mike.
T says doing it. Recessionism says doing it. Jermaine Young says doing it. Let's go do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Shannon Williams says doing it. It continues.
Mike, I said earlier in the show that I told you, I said this list is a whole problem for KRS too.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you got Murdergram at number 10. What you got on KRS's list?
Poetry.
Poetry wins that.
Yep, it's over.
Okay. I Need Love. Where you at?
My Philosophy.
Oh.
Once again, this was the battle, Mike. I see why
KRS
wanted this.
I told you.
I'm looking at my list and I'm looking at my other list. I'm like,
listen, I said this after the Kane and KRS when the people thought I was crazy, man. The battle that we missed.
No, I called you crazy.
The battle that we missed is KRS and LL. That's what needed to happen. And I hate to say this. I love Rakim, man, my favorite lyricist ever. But the fact that Rakim declined is the reason that we didn't get these two. That would have been a great one. If we would have gotten Rakim and Kane, and we could have gotten KRS and LL. But anyway, we're at I Need Love and My Philosophy. My Philosophy is the better song, in my opinion.
I Need Love is the way bigger record.
I Need Love is more iconic.
Yeah, it's the bigger record. It's more iconic.
I mean, who wins that round? What say you?
I say My Philosophy, actually.
I think so, too.
Because I like My Philosophy more than I like South Bronx, but I know how people from an era before us feel about the record South Bronx, too. Especially New Yorkers.
Yeah.
From the Bronx, Mike.
I mean, you got people saying My Philosophy easy, and then you got people saying I Need Love easy. That just lets you know how big and even these records are.
I'm close to some people like who are from the Bronx. Like I'm gonna hear from some of them when they see this.
Oh man. Okay. So where we at? Number 11. I don't even remember who I gave a point for this. We're giving My Philosophy the point, right? It looks 5-4. Let's go through this again. I'm sorry. I know it's not on the screen, so I don't want to be inconvenient, but we got Radio. And what did you have, number 1?
I'm still number 1.
Still number 1. We got Radio won that one. Booming System.
The Bridge is Over.
Okay. Bridge is Over won that. Lounging Remix.
Rappers Are in Danger.
All right, we gave that one to Lounging.
Yeah.
Backseat of My Jeep.
Black Cop.
Hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna have to do this all the way over. And boom, Lounging, and Black Cop. So it was 2-2. I Need a Beat remix.
Stop the Violence.
I give it to I Need a Beat remix.
No, that's what we did. We already did that.
Yeah. Going back to Cali, and what did you have?
9mm Goes Bang.
9mm got that. Rock the Bells.
I Can't Wake Up.
All right. And then we said that the other one was the wash, the four, three,
Yeah.
two, one, right?
In
That
the
was the
Step Into the
wash.
World. Yeah.
All right.
And the people chose Doing It over South Bronx.
Yeah, people chose Doing It over South Bronx. And then
Poetry's better than Murdergram, so we gave that to
boom.
KRS.
All right. And I Need Love. It's tied 5-5.
And my philosophy over I Need Love.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I gave that one to KRS. So it's 5-5.
Yep.
All right. We're at 5-5. We just did a little bit of a recap. Now we got Queens is.
Sound of the Police.
That's Sound of the Police. So KRS is up.
Yep.
Hey Lover.
You Must Learn.
Shit. You Must Learn is the better song.
What do the people say?
What y'all got? Hey Lover or You Must Learn?
I'm just curious. Because I don't know how people feel about Hey Lover. Like, I like the record. I really, really like. I almost love the record. I really, really like it.
People haven't responded to it yet, but they're saying Stop the Violence is still relevant. KRS held back because Kane didn't get the old beat.
We'll put You Must Learn under KRS.
I think KRS wins that. People are saying Hey Lover. DeCarlo says Hey Lover. Terminator 2 says Hey Lover.
I had a feeling that was going to happen. That's why I wanted to ask. Yeah.
King Mark says You Must Learn. Demi Frederick says You Must Learn. Junior says it's Hey Lover. Shannon Williams says Hey Lover. We got another You Must Learn. Looks like another wash.
Looks like another wash because this is according to hip hop where the people help us decide. So that looks like a wash.
Let me see. We got 2 ties there, and at the moment it is 6-5 KRS.
Okay.
All right. Oh, the big one. Mama Said Knock You Out. What you got?
Mortal Thought.
Yeah. Mama Said Knock You Out. It's 6-6.
Yep.
Big Old Butt.
Oh yeah. I think All Yeah is a better record.
I think so too. Okay. Around the Way Girl.
I actually got his self-destruction verse right there.
I got Around the Way Girl on that.
I'll give you that.
7-7.
That might still be like L's finest like B-boy moment. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I agree. Okay. Ill Bomb.
Jack of Spades.
I'm partial to Ill Bomb though. I mean, but Jack of Spades.
Like, yeah, that's Jack of Spades. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I Shot You.
I got the Mad Ism verse.
I Shot You wins that. I love Mad Ism too, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Bad.
MCs act like they don't know.
MCs act like they don't know is the answer to me. But I could see how that could go. What do you think?
Like, let the people.
What do the people think on that?
Yeah.
MCs act like they don't know. LL Cool J's I'm Bad. I mean, shit, man. I think MCs Act Like They Don't Know is one of KRS's strongest records, in my opinion. But maybe it's because I've seen it live, and when that shit drops, man, that shit is crazy. But I'm Bad is one of LL's strongest records too. Everybody know the words Sound Bad. If they do that live, man.
Yeah, they do. That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to hear from the people. That's like 2 of those records where it's like, you know, like I think MCs Act Like They Don't Know is a better record, but it's like not by a lot. And the other song is probably more legendary.
People are saying I'm bad.
See?
Terminator 2 says MCs Act Like They Don't Know. Frederick says, I like I'm Bad, but MCs Act Like They Don't Know is different. Shannon Williams says I'm bad. Jermaine says I'm bad. King Mark says I'm bad. Well, I guess we got to go with I'm bad. Angel T says I'm bad. Sean Thompson says bad. Yeah, I guess we got to go with I'm bad.
Okay.
And then we got Jingling Baby. What you got for that?
Mike, I had Wanna Be MCs to close it out.
Jingling Baby wins that, I think.
Jingling Baby's gonna win that. Okay. But also too, my KRS-One list, like I never like kind of like organized it. I just kind of like slapped it. I probably would have placed it a little differently. I would have placed the songs differently and maybe chose some different records because it's L. Because remember, I did this
I
like
did
it
the
was
same
going up
thing.
against Kane. Right.
I did the same thing when it came to Busta. When you know that you're going up against L, you feel like you gotta do your top notch records. And I feel like if on the other end you were actually making this LL list against KRS, you would have done some different things too. But
Right.
with the list being what it was at the moment, LL won that one 10-8 with 2 ties.
Like you want, because here's what I'm saying. Like when I did like the Kane thing, I left Love's Gonna Get You Off because I'm like, well, I don't even need that. That's not even fair if I do that.
Right.
But against L,
but I think even with L, you left some things off because you didn't think certain things would be fair.
yeah, correct. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Because
like
you wouldn't have put Murdergram on there if you knew you were going against KRS.
not a chance. Not a chance.
You wouldn't have put Queens on there if you would have known you were going. Yeah. So.
Nope.
Yeah, LL and KRS should have been the matchup. I still don't know who the matchup is for Busta. There's a few things that we left out. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to look at this list again. What do y'all think that I left out on this Busta list? Other than Jeanne, It's a Party. Like, I feel like these are some strong records. We got. I mean, when we're talking about Busta and his catalog, I got Touch It, Woo Ha, Dangerous, Flavor in Your Ear remix, Break Your Neck, Simon Says remix, Everything Remains Raw, Annie Up remix, Pastor Cavassier, Fired Up remix, Give Me Some More, What It Is Right Now, Look at Me Now, Make It Clap, As I Come Back, Tear the Roof Off, What's It Gonna Be, I Know What You Want featuring Mariah Carey and Flip Mode, Scenario, and Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See.
You know what, Mike? You want to know what it is? There's levels to this, and Busta has a whole lot of hits, but are they iconic and classic the way LL's are? And the answer to that is, well, no.
That's why I said last week, and some people disagree with this too. Method Man might be his best matchup. When you look at that right there, Method Man might be his best matchup. I think Ludacris is there too. But yeah, not a lot of people, if anybody, has the amount of massive records like L. See, I mean, I'm looking at these
and here's what
iconic records like, who has a record like Radio, Lounging Remix, Doing It, I Need Love, Rock the Bells.
Mama Said Knock You Out.
Mama Said Knock You Out. I Need a Beat.
Dingling Baby.
Around the Way Girl. Like, who has all of these?
Mike, and here's what's iconic about some of L's stuff is like you remember where you were when you heard some of this stuff.
Yeah, L got them records to take you back. Somebody in the chat said that earlier. Yeah.
Right. Like I remember where I was when Doing It dropped. Mike, I remember the first time when I was a kid when I heard I'm Bad. We used to try to practice the dance moves from the video and jump off the bed the way he jumped off the stand and started the video.
Let's talk about the obvious, because some people are saying this in the room, and we're hearing this, and obviously people in many circles feel like Jay-Z is the GOAT, king of rap. Ho, they even call him Hov, right? How does Jay-Z stack up?
Hov first.
Huh?
He called himself Hov first, but yeah.
Right. Yes. But how does Jay-Z stack up against LL's massive hits? Like, so what does Jay-Z have for radio? Like, let's just say that there's a situation where there is a Verzuz, and LL plays a record like Radio. What does Jay-Z play?
I don't know. Like, his hits are different in that regard.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean about, well, incomparable in the sense that it's like his hits are kind of like for the times. But, Mike, I would say to you, what are Jay's 5 most iconic hits? I immediately thought Hard Knock Life.
Okay.
And after that, what? What would you say?
Well, that was the first one DeCarlo said in the
Give
chat.
It to Me. I Just Want to Love You. Give It to Me.
You know what? It's funny you say that. I think Give It to Me probably has lasted the longest of pretty much all of his records. It's one of those. It feels
that way. It feels that way. And it didn't feel that way when that record came out. But yeah.
I always felt that way. It was something different about that record that he was doing on there. Like, it was It was the perfect balanced party record for him. He sounded comfortable on it. It was the
Very comfortable.
Neptunes. They were on fire, and it had a really dope hook and melody to it. So yeah, I think "Give It to Me" has lasted longer, but I don't know if "Give It to Me" beats "And Around the Way, Girl."
That's what I'm saying. So so let's go to the two records that we just bought up, and if the people got other records, bring them in. Are those as iconic? Because when I was talking about Snoop and Big and Pac earlier, that's what I mean. It's like, no, I can go to about 5 to 7 singles that I have, and it's like, no, that's iconic.
Well, let me go to some of the people in the chat, because some of the records that people are naming, we got Dead Presidents, we got You Don't Know, we got H to the Izzo, we got PSA. We can break down all of this because
No, those
we got
are
a little
all
bit of
dope
time
records.
today.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that are those iconic singles? Like PSA is a masterful record. It's not an iconic single.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Dead Presidents is.
JC88 says Jay don't have a I Need Love record. Shannon Williams says I think Jay-Z would beat LL, but not by a lot. Niz1978 says LL that dude. Okay, let's get to some more of the songs. So LL has more versatility. I can give you that too. We got Dead Presidents, Brooklyn's Finest, Money Ain't a Thing, Big Pimpin'. I love Jay, and I think as a lyricist, he's a better lyricist than L. But I don't think these songs match up with some of these iconic LL
That's
records.
what I'm trying to say. Is that like Money Ain't a Thing? Money Ain't a Thing. How about this? If L were to make Money Ain't a Thing, that might not even make his greatest hits, Mike.
No, it might not. Public service announcement. We got Niggas in Paris, Izzo, Song
Niggas
Cry.
in Paris is a good look.
Can I Get Her? I think that's one
Can
of
I
his
Get
bigger
Her?
records. It sounds a little dated though, but it
That's
is
what
what
I'm
it
saying.
is.
Okay, so Mike,
Big Pimpin'. Okay.
Big Pimpin', but all these records. So listen to those records. How iconic do they sound next to "I'm Bad," "Rock the Bells," "Jingling Baby," "Mama Said Knock You Out," "Lounging," "Doing It," "Radio"?
That's a whole problem, man.
It's the whole problem. That's what I mean. Is like his iconic hits. No, they're iconic hits, like the level that like Pac and Big and Snoop made iconic hits.
Because
like
Money Cash Hoes,
iconic.
which is mentioned too. Money Cash Hoes,
No,
Girls,
I'm talking
Girls,
about Money
Girls.
Cash Hoes.
Those aren't iconic records.
They're not.
They're not.
Nigga, what,
I think
nigga,
to put
who's
it,
more
let's put it
iconic?
in context, right? If we're talking about the top 30 hip hop songs of all time, legitimately, what Jay-Z songs are in there, and how many of those does he have in there?
Mike, and I'll tell you something, and most people have them 1 and 2, and you and I go back and forth about it. I feel the same way about Nas as I do in this situation that I do about Jay. I don't know if they necessarily have one song for certain that would register in the top 30. Not for certain.
Yeah, it's debatable. And I think even with Nas, the one that I would nominate as a single and all that shit is probably Made You Look. That would be my nomination.
Made You Look or The World Is Yours would be the selections that come to mind in terms of his singles, in terms of like iconic. Right. And actually like being the song that belongs there. And with Jay, I would probably go Dead Presidents.
I think The World Is Yours was crippled by the incredible album it was on. Because for a lot of people, that might not even be their favorite song on the album. You know what I mean?
Such a masterful record, Mike. So beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So
it's
beautiful.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. I love it. Yeah.
P-Rock, man.
I'm sorry, man. LL would be a real problem for Jay in the verses.
But it's like but this is what I'm saying is like as much as I love like Dead Presidents and like The World Is Yours, it's like that's not nothing but a G thing. That's not Cream. That's not Fight the Power. It's not Rock the Bells. It's not Dear Mama. It's not the One More Chance remix.
It's not
I'll Be There For You. It's not Award Tour.
No,
it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
No, I agree. It's not Paid in Full. It's not Eric B. is President.
Eric B. is President. It's not.
It's not. It's not a children's story.
Not a children's story. No.
It's not Hey Young World. It's not. I mean, it's levels. It's not Mind Playing Tricks on Me. It's not.
It's not Mind Playing Tricks on Me. It's not Never Seen a Man Die either.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not Fight the Power. It's not Welcome to the Terror Dome. I mean, just being honest, man. Like, if we're talking about song for song, L fits in that, those guys made great projects on a consistent basis, and they're incredible lyricists. You know what I
Like,
mean?
if you
But
want to talk about on some rap shit, it's like, oh, if we just talking about like on some rap song shit, it's like, well, I mean, six or seven records on Illmatic gonna make the top 100 records like easy, and he gonna have other records in there. But we talking like singles, like songs released
yeah,
for mass consumption. Oh,
you
that's
know,
different.
I think the narrative out here might be a little bit off kiltered in a sense where we're talking about nobody wants to do a versus with Busta. I think nobody really wants to do a versus with LL. I think
The
that's
whole
what a
problem, Mike.
real conversation is.
When Mike, understand when I'm talking about people that have the same level of iconic songs, two of those people are gone, and I only brought up three people.
I think there's nobody left. Like I said, I would have loved to have seen LL and KRS. I think that would have been very entertaining just based on song selection. And I think,
Like actually, like Mike, Pac would have been a good battle for L because Pac has jams for the ladies the way L does, and he has them at the level that L's has them. He has Temptations. He has Keep Your Head Up. He has I Get Around.
yeah, I think a
Yeah.
certain pocket of Pac's, um, I guess, just his influence had to come from L. Obviously
versatility.
he's very Chuck D meets LL meets Ice Cube. Put them all in a bunch, even if you want
Mike,
to throw
I mean,
Scarface in there.
Mike, I mean, we all know, like, cause I mean, his biopics have said so. Big Chuck D fan, big Ice Cube fan. So
But
you
his
can
mass
definitely,
appeal and his ability to be marketable, that comes from L.
yeah.
And
No,
that
no, no.
approach and the how do you want it and all that stuff, that comes from L.
That's what I'm saying. He's the one with the iconic singles, like for the ladies, that can like offset. Because it's like, oh no, you can put "How Do You Want It" up against "Lounge," and you can put "Dear Mama" up against like, what I'm saying, you know, "I Need Love."
So do you think
You know,
LL will beat Jay-Z in the verses? Based
Jay
on
got.
everything we just said and kind of broke down a little bit.
So how about this? I think it could go actually kind of comparably for the way that it went in this Buster and LL thing, except for it would happen to L. L would still win all his iconic hit stuff,
Hmm.
but then Jay would win everything else. So L would probably win about 8 to 10 at the most, and Jay would take the rest because PSA and stuff like that, and a million and one questions and Streets is watching. He start dropping those. L really don't got nothing for those per
But what if
se.
L just stays with the hits? Because he has the ability to do that. Because he
Um,
doesn't have to adjust to what Jay's
Well,
doing.
okay. Well let's talk about okay. What are his like? Let's talk about what are LL's iconic hits, and let's number them since you're saying that. I Can't Live Without My Radio. One.
One.
Would you put Lounging up there?
I love lounging. I don't know if it's an iconic game-changing hit, so I
Okay.
wouldn't say so. Not at the level of what his are.
Okay. So I Need a Beat.
I need to beat yes,
So two. Rock the Bells.
yes,
Doing It.
yes,
So that's four. I Need Love.
yes,
That's five. Mama Said Knock You Out.
yes,
Six. I'm Bad.
yes,
Seven. Jingling Baby.
huh, yes.
Eight. And I think Lounging is almost there, and that's what I'm saying.
Around the
No, I
Way
think,
Girl is the one that I would
and
say
yeah,
is.
I'm sorry, Around the Way Girls. So that's nine. And so what I'm saying, that's what I mean is like, no, I could see him getting about 8 to 10 off of anybody off the records we just named. Because Mike, Lounging and Jingling Baby are the weakest records that we just named. How many people can get to single number 9 or 10 and have a Lounging or a Jingling Baby?
You're right. And what if we were to put Give It To Me against a Lounging or Excuse Me Miss against a Lounging? Lounging wins that. To me. Like I said, I like the matchup of Give It To Me and Lounging.
But here's what I'm saying. But Mike, after those 8 to 10 records that we just named, I could see Jay taking everything else. But that would make it a competitive and more interesting battle than people think.
I think that's the matchup.
Because didn't we just name like 10 L records? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and again, there's some things left off when it comes to L. Like, what if you went out there and, like I said, did a Jack the Ripper or some shit?
Well, I mean,
like
so
that?
Mike, so even when you say this, it's like, where would you put Reservoir Dogs up against a 4-3-2-1 or I Shot You remix?
No. It's
So
not,
that's what I mean.
don't
Is
even
it's like
register.
so we didn't even name those records when we named like his iconic. like
Exactly.
hits. And he
I mean,
still got those. And Mike, and we
Jay
didn't name
doesn't
Hey
have a
Lover.
posse record that goes up against any of those.
Yeah. Well, this can't be life, but I mean, he can't.
Nah, that ain't really
Yeah.
a posse record though. But yeah, I mean, it's 3 guys on a record, 3 superpowers, of course.
Yeah. Guess who's back? I mean, those are yeah.
No.
Those are pretty high up there, but it's not this. You're right, Mike. 4, 3, 2, 1, and I shot your remix. It's like
You know
even his
who's
posse.
You know who's the better matchup for LL? And I'm surprised no one's saying this because I guess everyone hates this guy's guts. Kanye West is the better matchup, to be honest. And Kanye West could possibly have more iconic records than Jay-Z does.
I could give you that possibly, Mike. Yeah.
For
Through
his,
the Wire.
For his era, yeah.
Through
Jesus
the Wire.
Walks.
Jesus Walks.
Yeah.
Gold Digger.
Diamonds.
Yeah. Mike, he got some B-side
Can't tell me nothing.
Legendary too. Can't tell me nothing. Stadium Flow, yeah. I tell people that Stadium Flow, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Good Life.
Y'all sleeping?
No, Mike, you valid assertion with Ye.
DeCarlo says Kanye will wash L. Listen.
Ye's a whole problem for anybody. Like, don't like.
I think Kanye might be the unbeatable one.
You would have to get him to sign a contract that says you can only do the records and verses that are on Kanye West albums.
Like I said, we need a Kanye West versus Kanye West versus.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
we need a Kanye the artist versus Kanye the producer because
Mike,
he's unbeatable outside.
No, Mike. So I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about like because we're literally probably like in the next couple of days about to start working on the 2021 hip hop yearbook. We need to do our Ye versus Ye in the 2021 yearbook and like put it up and put our list up. And also too, Mike, that might be the most insightful like thought I heard somebody have this year about the verses when you said that.
I mean, it needs to
Ye versus Ye.
Ye versus Ye, man. And yeah,
I told you, Mike, he would love it. He would be the first person there to sign up. Me? You want me to go versus me? Mike, I can see the whole scene in his mind. Me versus me. That's what, Mike, it's what he's been waiting for.
Yeah. You know, you have a beat machine on one side and you have a mic stand on the other. It's like the artist versus the producer.
I mean, Mike, he would be there for 6 hours.
I think the artist would beat the producer, though. And that's the startling part. And he's probably a top 3 hip-hop producer all time.
No, Mike, that's the shady part is when you pull out his catalog and realize he still kept the best shit for himself.
Well, I mean, what's he supposed to do?
Do what RZA did.
Well, RZA's not the MC that Kanye is. Are we ready to concede the fact that Kanye is the best MC producer ever in hip hop?
Yes, we're conceding this point in the game.
Who's number 2? Q-Tip?
Huh?
Q-Tip's number 2?
Yeah.
And RZA's 3?
Yeah.
I've always viewed RZA as like the best lyricist when it comes to.
He's the best lyricist.
But you know, when it comes to the Bobby Digital albums, I like stuff on it. You know what I mean? But I can't say. Come on, man. I mean,
NYC everything, domestic violence. My loving is
well, you know that Holocaust verse on Holocaust is one of the best verses I've ever heard in hip hop.
Yeah, no. Just like lyrically speaking.
Yeah, you fall into an endless tunnel of doom reality. Graphically, my killer bee family stings the galaxy. Insanity. My flesh is solid stone despite my outer appearance. And he was like, kills disease, virus, and see, I always get tripped up there. Make him sneeze out, tumor so bad, lost facial features, waste your peoples out in the rain, fountains of pain, 80 shots to the mouth and the brain, shouting my name. Holocaust, black man whose veins slither with thorns, rap smack you so hard over your seas to be born to form. Swarm, dorm, fling verbs like mean curves, strike 3, mics flee, I infect them with green germs, ringworm. I think that verse is better than the Triumph
verse. Not bad,
verse.
Mike.
Because I'm guilty and duly dazzling masterly. My felony melody has to be a bastard's masterpiece. Stop grafting me, chump ass niggas. I am tempt me. I break it down simply. I'm horrifyingly empty. It's just like, dude.
Hold on, Mike. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why the Triumph verse is better, and it actually speaks to something that Jizza talks about on as high as Wu-Tang gets. Too many songs, weak rhymes is mad long. Make it brief, son. half short, twice strong. So Deck's verse is more compact and just as strong, and that's a harder feat to do as a lyricist, is to compact the intensity of a lyricism
No, you're
for
right.
mass consumption and do it at a high level. And that's why Triumph is so high, because he breaks it down lyrically, but he breaks it down simply,
No, you're right.
abomatomically.
You're right.
Socrates' philosophies and high prophecies can't define how I be dropping these mockeries. Lyrically performed armed robbery. Every word is important.
Fleeing with the lottery. Possibly they spotted.
Possibly they spotted me.
And
Yeah.
he had like a smaller window to do it too. I got to
That's what
give
I
it to
mean.
him.
Yeah, the window. It's like you did that in that window to that level with that clarity.
What do you think about Cannabis and the fact that Cannabis would just get on records and just go? And
No,
what Nas
Mike.
was able to do on Verbal Intercourse.
That's what that, Mike.
Yeah.
You can go to anybody who knew me in high school when Cannabis was coming out. I used to say, I said, all that is great. Give me DMX. And people looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, no, it sounds like that guy can make a song and the other guy can't.
Speaking of DMX and that class, did you hear when Nori got on somebody's podcast? I think it was Brandon Marshall. And he said that he was the hottest nigga in the world in 1998 or something like that.
In 97 until DMX and Cannabis popped up. That's actually exactly when that hot streak ended, is Cannabis and DMX specifically popped
Big
up.
Pun.
So he was still hot.
Big Pun popped
too.
up too.
But Pun wasn't even buzzing as high. Like if in 98, if you want to rank the buzz level, it was Cannabis, DMX, Pun.
I was in Atlanta. I was here in Atlanta in
I was
'97.
in Charlotte.
And I remember Nori jumping on shit, and I don't know what it was. Maybe just his delivery. He had a dope delivery, dope voice. He would jump on records, and this ain't the Nori that people hear like the "Hey now you're an all-star" and like It wasn't that Nori.
Right.
Nori was actually jumping on tracks like spitting, and
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Off the Firm album. That was the moment, because people who hadn't heard the War Report and didn't even know, like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of that was Nas just showing love because Capone got locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Nori did have his moment, and I understand, like, revisionist history. People will go back and look at what came out. But in the moment, and again, I know we get things a lot slower down here, and, he from Queens, they probably had a whole bunch of mixtape stuff that we never even heard that was going on at that time. But even from what we heard, the Nori buzz was even getting down here.
So Mike, let me ask you something, because I wasn't in Atlanta at that time. I was in Charlotte. I would just come down to Atlanta like during the summers or like holidays and stuff. But Charlotte has always had a real heavy like rap scene, East Coast, New York based influence. And there were like shops and stuff where I was getting mixtapes and stuff from. So I was hearing a lot of Nori shit, and people in Charlotte were hearing a lot of Nori shit. Like, we had access to that stuff. And there are just a lot of New Yorkers in Charlotte. I think that's part of the influence of it, too.
So what were you going to ask me?
No, I was going to ask you just, like, what was that vibe like down here in Atlanta in terms of your access to stuff like that? Because I can remember hearing Noriega and Nature, like, on mixtapes and stuff. And 50, Mike, 50. I remember hearing him on songs. Yeah.
There were places you could go to get your East Coast fix here in Atlanta. Atlanta was very mixed, and we were really supporting like our local artists. So we're talking about 97, 98-ish. Goody Mob and Outkast was still king. Right. When it came to, mainstream rap shit. But on a local level, it was more so, I don't even want to say local. I guess it stayed local because Kilo started working with, Organized and got that deal with Interscope. But Kilo was still running the streets of Atlanta. Raheem and Kilo, that's when they was going back and forth in 97. Yeah. And so there was still a lot of that locally. The Addict crew started emerging, putting stuff out. We start hearing about the Young Bloods and things like that. And after Pac died, though, and you know what? I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. Master P was really huge here.
I remember
that's one
that
of the
coming
reasons
down
why Pastor Troy was able to do what he did, when he came through and he dissed, Master P, because Master P had a huge following here in Atlanta. But most of that, to me, I think is because Pac was gone, and we were really big on Pac, and I think Master P saw an opening where, a lot of Pac fans, I saw it, like just gravitated to Master P because Master P was showing Pac love, and really his approach to certain things weren't too far of an off kilter from what Pac was doing. But I think when Pac passed away, the West Coast influence or the West Coast connection to Atlanta kind of cut off. Other than the fact that you had, Too Short out here. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's a little different. That's the Bay. But when you know what I mean? And I know Pac's
I
kind of
get
the
you.
Bay too, but you know what I mean.
No, you're right. You want to know what? My older brothers who were raised down here, even more than I was, because I did spend some time down here. It was earlier childhood and then like early adulthood, like teenage years were in Charlotte. But they spoke to me about Pac's influence down here. Pac had a heavy influence down in the A. My brother smoked the blunt with Pac once. They did security for him, did security at a spot one time, and like they smoked with him and stuff. He was a small dude.
Pac, I didn't know until years later that Pac actually lived in Decatur. So that's crazy. Like throughout this whole time, Pac was actually in Decatur. I was watching Jeezy's Uncensored on TV1, and Jeezy said the last time he ever cried was when he got the news that Tupac died. Like he was a big Pac fan, and Georgia was big on Pac.
Mike, I thought so much of him that even when I heard that he had got shot again, I just knew he was gonna survive.
I did too. I didn't
I was
think
like, it's
anything of it.
Pac.
I didn't
It's
think
Pac.
anything of it. Like you think these guys are superheroes,
Can't stop
man.
him. Yeah, they can't
Yeah.
stop him.
Well,
Can't
it
be
kind of
stopped.
brings me to that next subject, man. Young Miami from City Girl said, man, Jeezy is one of the best rappers alive. And, I think that's an interesting statement because obviously she's younger. How old is Young Miami? She got to be under the age of 25. What does
I think so.
Jeezy mean to the current generation, in your estimation?
I mean, he's probably iconic to them for the trap movement. Him and Gucci are probably looked at like in like a whole nother light now than we probably look at it because we were kind of down here and around it and kind of at an age where we seen it happen and looked at it differently.
Yeah.
So looking at it from the perspective of somebody, let's say 10, 15 years younger than us, yeah, they might have a whole nother take on what Jeezy brings to the table as an MC, because it's like, if you look at what he was indicted for early on, which wasn't being the best MC, like he did work on it and become a solid MC to me. Like, do you think Jeezy's a good MC, a dope MC? I think he made himself into a dope MC.
Yeah, he clearly got better over time. I mean, he says it himself, like he wasn't really a rapper like that. He understood that, being a rapper could get him to places that he wanted to go, and he worked at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a smart hustler does.
Yeah. That's what I will give Jeezy, and that's one of the things that I got from that Uncensored that he did on TV1. I think it was this past Sunday. Jeezy is a hustler, man, and it made me start thinking like when you talk about the great hustlers of Atlanta or the South, let's just say the South altogether. Jeezy's up there to me. I mean, obviously the first name that comes up is Master P, right? And I say Birdman's another name that comes up, but after that, I might go. I got to think about this, and I'm talking about people who are artists. I'm thinking. I was gonna say Jay Prince, but I'm talking about people who are artists too, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Who are in the forefront. So because if we go background people, we could really start digging. But people who are in the forefront, I'm gonna say Master P, Birdman, and then I'm starting to think, man, I might go Jeezy. But you know who's a real underrated hustler in Atlanta and the South period? I think Ludacris, man. Ludacris has played his career perfectly on every level, business-wise.
I'm going to agree with you on a lot of levels to that, but because of where Jeezy comes from, the sentiment of that resonates differently than it is going to from a Luda. And I'm going to kind of go behind the scenes right quick to what we were talking about yesterday when I called you, which is that, like, and I don't know who said it, but it's very, very true. And this is what I mean about her perspective. Young Miami's perspective might be different. It's like the thing now is for rappers to come in the game looking the way Jeezy looked when he came in the game, Mike. Like I told you, he did an interview a long time ago, like with Double XL, I think, where he was talking about he's sitting in L.A. Reid office before any contracts or deals are done with the whole Rolex Rose Gold set on. And L.A. Reid is like, whatever you're doing, stop. Like, I got you. So it resonates differently when somebody like that was doing what he was doing and getting the money like that. like transitions it. It resonates with people harder than somebody who was a radio personality. It's gonna hit different because hip hop is still
Is that a good thing though?
Because I didn't say it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's necessarily a good thing, but we're gonna go back to where hip hop was created, which was in the streets and not a radio station. And that's what I mean about what Jeezy did as a hustler resonates different than Luda's hustle, because Luda's hustle, even though you can say it's just as strong, it comes off more corporate America driven than Jeezy's hustle. And that's not the knock
but it's
that.
not.
Hold
But
on,
yeah,
Mike, let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
No, let me finish because it's important. And that's not to knock it and to say that there's anything wrong with the path that Luda took. There's nothing wrong with it. There need to be more people taking that path, but Jeezy shit hit different, Mike.
I think what it is, and we're talking styles, right? In a sense. I always hear people talk about
We're talking origins too.
No, that's not what I mean. I was going to go to like a basketball correlation, right? You hear people talk about Steph Curry's impact on the game, right? I think a big part of Steph Curry's impact is the fact that, look, nigga, I'm not 6'8", you know what I'm saying, 250, huge, you know what I mean? Like, what I'm doing, the average person, for the most part, with a lot of work, can do. And I think that Luda's story gives a little bit more credence to that. Like, where it's like, okay, I went to Georgia State, boom. I interned at a radio station, boom. I took this path and made this independent album. At this time, use my leverage at the radio station, use my relationships to get things here, boom, boom, boom. And it's like, it's kind of a little bit more tangible for a lot of people other than going out there playing a whole nother game, right?
So, but okay. So here's what I'm saying. Even with what happened with Jeezy, so like the backstory on that. So let's go to Jeezy's backstory. Jeezy never planned to be a rapper. Jeezy was supposed to be the money man behind the scenes of two artists. One got locked up, if I'm not mistaken. The other one got murdered.
Yeah.
Or died.
Or he got murdered. You were right.
No, okay, yeah, because right. And so Jeezy had already invested his money into this.
Mm-hmm. Had a studio and was like, well, somebody got to come in there and do something.
He's a hustler, Mike. He had already put his money up.
You know who his story sounds like? And when you said it like that, sounds like Eazy-E.
Mike, very much like Eazy-E. And what he did is he walked in the booth and he started literally putting his mouth where his money was.
Yeah, I got to give you that. Jeezy's a huge hustler, man. And I got to give him credit for that.
Hold on, Mike. What street dudes walking in the L.A. Reid office with a rose gold set that's even about to try to get behind the mic and make that move? That's a hustler, Mike.
So you think you would put him after Birdman? So it sounds like you got Jeezy ranked very high on the hustler list. Everybody's mentioning Rick Ross too. What do you think about that?
If we talking hustler list, Master P is number one down here, and that shouldn't be questioned. As far as an artist too, because that would take Jay Prince out of this conversation, because I would have the conversation about Jay Prince and Master P just from that level specifically. But if we're talking about artists as well, I would put Jeezy and Ross ahead of Birdman and behind Master P, actually.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure I know your reasoning for the Birdman thing.
Go listen to Idols Become Rivals, Mike, by Rick Ross.
Yeah. But I mean, there's stories about Birdman, having $1 million at 14 years old.
So, yes, let's go ahead and diametric. So when you put Birdman right next to Master P, that's not fair to Master P, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Master P is somebody who literally, it was known, if you were signed to the No Limit camp, you had to take accounting and financial literacy classes. Master P wasn't just signing people. He was trying to empower people and make them financially responsible and solvent to not need him and to not need to sign to any label, even if the label was his. That's different. Birdman did not do that, therefore does not deserve to stand next to him, because there's actually been a lot of the opposite of that.
So you would feel the same way even if Diddy or somebody like that was in the discussion, because it doesn't seem
I
like there are
always
a
say
lot
that.
of there aren't really a lot of artists that have like great stories when it comes to their work dealings with Diddy. But you hear nothing but great stories when it comes to Master P. Like,
Mike, if you want to be great and be hot for 5 years, there's a lot of guys you can sign to. If you want to have your shit together for 25 years, you sign to Master P.
I agree with that. It's more about doing business with that mogul as opposed to continuously being under that mogul.
Right.
What do you think about and
Want to own your publishing?
yeah,
Want to
yeah.
know what these white people are talking about in these business rooms so you can go in there and negotiate your deals properly, even if it's not hip hop related?
Why do you
Master P.
think that No Limit didn't?
Sign to Master P.
Why do you think No Limit didn't continue on the path that they were going as far as like being the hottest label in the industry? Because they had the talent, right? What do you think that I guess the quote unquote falling off of No Limit comes from or started from?
More of a fan of Cash Money's music. Think Cash Money has better top tier artists outside of Mystical in the brief time with Snoop.
Okay, you think it was more so the Cash Money splash?
I mean, it wasn't just the Cash Money splash. I'm just speaking about the talent level, and then I'm going to speak to the oversaturation of the product because I think it could have been spaced out better, but I understood business wise what he was doing and what he was trying to show. And also, too, this is the hustler in him. He's looking at it like, well, tomorrow's not promised. So we dropping everything with, you know what I mean? That's that hustler's
Right.
ambitious and mentality. And sometimes it can bite you back and hurt you. They could have extended their run by scaling back projects. But who knows like how that could have gone. Cash Money a little bit had something to do with that because like Juvenile, oh, that's a star. Wayne, that's a star. BG was a star.
Yeah.
Like they had stars to compete with them. Manny Fresh at the time, I think, came with a sound that they felt was more indicative of New Orleans with the bounce.
I agree with that. Yeah, and you could tell that there was a Cali influence on Master P and his sound, especially when Beats by the
They got his
Pound.
hustle from the Bay, Mike.
Yeah,
Got his
yeah.
hustle from the Bay.
When Beats by the Pound kind of went their own way, and Master P had to go regroup and find more production, it was more of a Cali sound more so than the bounce. And like you said, Cash
Man,
Money came with the authentic bounce sound at that
you
time,
talk,
and yeah.
you talking about a dude with a publishing deal that would piss Michael Jackson and Prince off, Mike. That's how
Yeah,
much
man.
money P was
And the
getting.
machine was not going to continue to
Like the
help
money,
that.
like Michael Jackson's like contract was like the highest cents on the dollar contract ever. Like Master P shit, like tripled that. Like,
I know Master P was trying to match that, but I don't know, man. Michael was
nah, he was
setting
getting
all
85
kind of
cent on the
news.
dollar at one point. I heard Mike
I don't know the top that Michael got, but it was pretty high. Cause I think
85 cent on the dollar. He was getting 85 cent on the
I don't know
dollar.
if it was that. I'll go back and do
Mike,
my
I think it was
research.
more like 36 to 43 cent on the dollar. I don't know if it Mike P was getting 85 cent on the dollar. Mike, I'm pretty
Yeah,
certain.
we'll
Shit
see. Cause
crazy.
I
Like, yeah, I
know
can sell
that
these 200,000 records. Gonna make a couple $1,000,000.
it's
I'm gonna do
incredible,
that
man.
every week. I'm
Well,
gonna do
what
that
I will
every
say
week.
about Luda too, not to totally go off of that, but yeah, I think Luda's hustle has continued to film, even him being a part of the Fast and the Furious franchise. He's had an incredible career, and outside of just the music alone, and you look at each step that Ludacris has taken in his career, I think his timing has been perfect.
So
I don't think there's anybody whose timing has been more perfect than Luda. Because I feel like if Luda would have done what he did 2 years earlier or after, it might not have worked the same.
Mike, I don't agree. I was actually saying, like his role and his placement and how he did it is so unique in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
And I think it actually would have been more acceptable in terms of how it would have been revered a couple of years later, actually. So I don't totally agree. Maybe a couple of years before, not so much. But I think a couple of years later, this route and this path would have been more revered. I think Kanye's influence has something to do with that, too, because Kanye kind of normalized the normal guy being on top in hip hop.
I don't
Like
think
that is
What's Your
the impact
Fantasy would
Kanye's
have
had.
worked after 50 Cent drop Get Rich or Die Trying. I just don't.
That's a valid point.
I just don't
see
think
why you
after the
feel that way.
college dropout, I don't think that Southern Hospitality and What's Your Fantasy would have worked the same way. I just don't. And we're talking
No,
that's 2003 when you're talking about Get Rich or Die Trying. Maybe if we're
right.
talking about the 2001-2 window, maybe.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. A
But
couple years after, like a couple of years, I think it could have been like taken a little bit differently. Because that was kind of like a shift. Things were shifting right then.
hip hop was kind of looking for the next in
Right. It was
2002.
shifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
98, I don't think that would have worked in that way.
It wouldn't have worked in '98.
No. But yeah, saying all that to say, I think his timing was perfect. He got in during a time where, and see, this is why I say 2000 was perfect for him. He got in during a time where people were really still buying albums and CDs heavy too. A couple years after that, that wouldn't have been the same.
Right.
But yeah, we could go on and on with this, man. I'm looking forward to Friday, so we could talk about this Jay-Z, Jadakiss, and Conway the Machine record. Off the top, I don't know what else is coming out this Friday, but
You never really said how you felt about Jeezy. You got him at third. That's
I think
third.
I got Jeezy at third. When you talk about hustlers, man, I agree with you on the Birdman thing, but the fact that Birdman's been continuously able to sustain in this game is remarkable to me. Like the fact that NBA YoungBoy goes to him, the fact that Young Thug goes to him, and all of these guys somehow going to him at all these different ages, like NLE Chopper, like he continues to get young talent.
No, you're right.
And at this point, and I know the whole Nicki and Drake thing is on the back of Wayne, and Wayne was the hottest in the world. That's why he was able to get those talents. But at this point, I don't even know how he's even able to, get these. He's hustling, man. I got to give it to him. And he's one of those people that a lot of folks have, a lot of the moguls or his mogul peers. You got Diddy, who's more invested in Revolt these days, or Ciroc or whatever. Jay's doing stuff outside of music as well. Dr. Dre is more about his headphones. So Birdman's been about the artist the whole time. Yeah, I got to give him that.
So, Mike, we're going to quote the big timers. It's a get it how you live situation. Everybody's in different places doing their thing. So he's been more with the artist, but there's been issues there with that is what I'm saying. And
I agree with you.
And so let's talk about Ross right quick. Like part of what I love about Ross's hustle is because, he didn't buy Holyfield's old estate to show off. It's an investment in a business venture. How many times has he rented that thing out for movie sets? I got so many people. I'm down at Ross' crib doing such and such on the movie set. So he's making money off of his investment.
You know what?
Like literally while he's sitting, because the estate is large enough that they literally can film like in the front of the house or a wing of the house, and he can still be in there chilling, or he can be recording. You get what I'm saying? And so like his hustle is strong, and that's independent of the fact that he did sign Wale and Meek Mill, and they have been major artists for their era.
I'm gonna rework my list real quick before we go. I think
that's why I got Ross and Jeezy ahead.
I might have Ross ahead of Birdman. I put Ross ahead of Birdman.
Look at what Ross doing, man. Yeah, Ross
I'll
can
put
chill
Ross.
at the crib.
I'll put Ross after Pete. I'll put Ross ahead of Birdman, and then I'm going Birdman. I might go Luda then Jeezy. And the only reason why I got Jeezy behind Luda is the fact that we don't really know. I mean, I know Jeezy got stuff popping now, but it's like Luda has all kind of working.
He's always
businesses.
Mike.
And the thing is too, like Luda holds down a restaurant. He holds down a whole bunch of businesses that no one really talks about. And we've seen, especially in Atlanta, we've seen prominent artists have restaurants and lose them. Have whatever. And if we want to talk about artist relationships, Jeezy missed out on Freddie Gibbs. I gotta say, if we're gonna be fair. And
Jeezy
Freddie Gibbs is one of the hottest in the game.
Rapping ass nigga.
Yeah. So even though Luda missed out on 2 Chainz, he still capitalized on the Chingy thing, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like those two are closer than we think.
You want to know what, Mike? I give it to you. So like for me, I guess based on the things that we've discussed, I think it's still P clearly number 1. I'll go Ross, Luda, Jeezy, then Birdman. I'll go in that order.
Okay.
I'll run it like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can see totally what you're saying about Luda, and you want to know what Luda did that Jeezy didn't did. Luda was always in the process of hustling something or moving to a next venture or making a move consistently.
That's
and
the one thing that I think we don't really realize about Luda. He's always thinking that next step. You know what I'm saying? And that Fast and Furious, he had that in his head way before time.
Luda and he was able to community work. They do community work.
Yeah.
Luda
has played his career better than many have ever.
No, most.
Yeah.
Most. Like he'd be like in the 90th percentile in terms of how you should handle your career.
And he does it very quietly too. I will give him that. You know, he doesn't have to have the Jay-Z hoopla with it either.
Well, that's part of what's so good about it and why he's been able to diversify so well is that he's been a headliner without being in the headlines for the wrong reason. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that's incredible.
Right, look, don't we laud people like Kevin Durant and LeBron James for stuff like that?
You're right.
They're great at what they do.
Let's wrap up this show. Let's wrap up this show and everything that we covered, right? So it looks like LL smashes Busta Rhymes in the Verzuz. Looks like LL would probably beat KRS-One in the Verzuz, but that would be a more competitive Verzuz. And it looks like LL has probably more iconic individual records than even somebody like a Jay-Z. But we don't know how that will play out.
No, Mike, it's not kinda. We just got through about 9 like iconic LL records. Jay doesn't have 9 iconic singles.
Right. And
no.
Yeah.
Got 9 great singles. Might have 9 classic singles.
This is a point I meant to make too earlier.
Not iconic.
When I realized that Jeezy meant something different to a next generation was on Good Kid, Mad City when they said that in that skit, you know.
Me too. And I'm like, y'all bumping Jeezy? Niggas in Compton bumping Jeezy?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he means something different to this generation. And, you know, for years on According to Hip Hop, people would say that Jeezy was better than Ross. I think that tide is changing, but that just shows you how much people fuck with Jeezy. Like, you know,
Mike, I was one of those people, and Ross turned me over too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Ross had to do it over the years, but with Jeezy's instant impact, the love that Jeezy got was instant and it was strong too. I mean, we were here. You know what it
Mike,
is.
we had the streets. I was moving to Cali like when all his stuff started popping. It was crazy. I told you, Mike, I couldn't go anywhere. I told you, Mike, y'all, this for the audience. I was telling Mike yesterday about a day that I was with my brothers, and I already had one of the Jeezy mixtapes, and 2 dudes at 2 separate points of the day tried to sell me the same damn mixtape. We was already riding to it. Was serious.
Well, you didn't even see, and you said that to me the other day before I watched the Uncensored on TV One. Jeezy said he feels like they gave out 200 to 300,000 copies of Trap or Die. And this is in an era where everybody was selling their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was selling CDs, or, you know, if you're going to do it out the trunk or you do it independent, you're selling it. It wasn't really like, you know, you download my shit, whatever. He was giving whole mixtapes away, and he said he gave away about 300,000. So, yeah, I could see how you saw him all over the place.
I've been a lot of places, Mike. I've seen a lot of things. I never seen nothing like Jeezy's movement down here.
I think Jeezy's movement down here was one of the best I've ever seen, too.
Never seen no shit like that.
I'm trying to think of anything that matches it. Yeah, Jeezy's buzz in Atlanta.
It was
the only thing that I could correlate to it was, you know, when 50 Cent dropped Get Rich or Die Trying. Like, that Mike, 50 Cent buzz was crazy.
Mike, I was hearing stuff a year later in Cali that I had been heard in the A.
Yeah.
Like, I was gone.
I think 50 Cent's buzz the biggest buzz I've ever seen. But as far as buzz in the city of Atlanta, yeah, I'm gonna give it to Jeezy. I think
T.I.'s... But we weren't in New York for 50's buzz though.
No, I'm just talking about the buzz nationwide. I'm talking about after you know the rollout.
No, Mike, that's the machine coming together though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeezy's was more organic. That was really the streets like, nah, that's our dude.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we're going to talk Friday, man. Y'all join us Friday. You want to do an earlier show Friday? What we looking like Friday? Like 3 or 5?
Yeah, we can work it out.
We'll
Put
work it
something up
out.
on the
We'll
board.
keep y'all
Yeah.
posted. We'll let you know. I was just doing this for the audience. But yeah, make sure
Yeah, we gotta
y'all
make a couple
subscribe
moves.
to the According to Hip Hop channel and get the click the bell icon, excuse me, so you'll know when we're going live. But yeah, we'll probably do like a midday show on Friday. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to hearing this record. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's not too often we see singles drop that we actually like. Like, ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
man. Hopefully Jay-Z brings it.